Before we go into depth in this course, I want to give you a bit of an introduction into why do you need traffic. Well, I want to imagine that you have an offline store, you have a bricks and mortar store. Website traffic is the equivalent of people coming into your shop. If you don't have customers coming into your shop, you have no chance of making any sales. And if you can't make any sales, then obviously what's going to happen to your business? It's going to collapse. So it's really, really important that you have traffic to your website. Otherwise, you just aren't going to make money. With no traffic, you could have the best website in the world, spend millions of dollars developing it, but you have no business and no income. You've had it. You have to have traffic to your website. If you can't get people to come to your website, then you just don't have a business. But if people can't come along to your website, they can't find it, then they're not going to be able to spend money with you, are they? So you've got to get people to your websites. And as I said, you could have the absolute best website in the world, but it's useless without traffic. You have to have website traffic. And that's why this course is going to be so important to you. It's going to make a massive difference in your business, because it's going to help you to get traffic to your website, and traffic to your website means one thing, means more money. Now, the biggest key to success online is traffic. I know so many marketers who, to be perfectly honest, build websites and they're great. Many marketers build websites and expect a really big income, but they get nothing. But why do they get nothing? Quite simply because they don't have traffic. And many marketers will actually give up their internet dream because they can't get traffic. It's a fundamental bottom line need for your website. And if you can't do it, forget it, you're going to struggle. And really, it is one of the most elusive secrets to online marketing. So many people just can't get decent amounts of traffic. Now, from my own personal experience, I've built websites that have thousands of visitors a month. I mean, tens of thousands of visitors a month. And the thing is they do this because I spent time building up the traffic, which is what you're going to learn in here. It doesn't take long to go from no visitors to several thousand a month. And from there, if you keep it up, you can go on to the next level. And once you get to a certain level, you're really fine, because what you'll find is traffic will keep on coming, and you only need to do a little bit every single month or every week then, just to keep it ticking over. But if you cannot grasp these concepts and get yourself website traffic, you're going to struggle. And the biggest key really with traffic is it has to be sustainable. Now, anyone can go away and get 1,000 visitors tomorrow. That's nice, really good. But what happens when the day after you get none, and the day after you get none, and the day after you get none? You have to have a sustainable level of traffic. If you don't, forget about it. You're going to struggle. You're not going to have a business. It's got to be consistent. And if it isn't, you're going to run into problems. Now, the sources of traffic. Well, obviously pay-per-click is one of them. Something like Google AdWords or the Yahoo or Microsoft equivalent. They all work. They're very good. They get you instant traffic very quickly, and it's obviously highly targeted. So I can recommend pay-per-click, but you need to make sure you know what you're doing, because very simply you could lose your shirt. People often spend a lot of money on pay-per-click for very little return because they don't know what they're doing. Google AdWords in particular is highly complex, and if you don't understand it, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to run into problems. Now, if you can't afford the prices on Google AdWords, then have a look at something like Yahoo or MSN. Quite often the bids for the keywords are a lot less on there, they're a lot cheaper, simply because they're not as competitive. Google knows it's got the majority market share, and it will take advantage of that. The other ones, they know that they have to catch up, so to entice advertisers in, they often have much lower costs. But pay-per-click isn't for everyone. You have to be willing to sit down and spend some time with it. I know someone who runs some very successful pay-per-click campaigns. Companies pay him $4,000 a month to manage their pay-per-click campaigns. And to give you an idea of the return on investment he's given his companies, one particular client, for every $500 of a pay-per-click budget, he's bringing back an investment of round about $50,000. They spend $500 on advertising and get $50,000 back. But he spends 2 or 3 hours a day on their campaigns, optimizing their website, optimizing their keywords, and he gets competitive keywords really for pennies because he's done his homework, he knows what he's doing. But if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to get such massive returns. You can still do well, but it does require work, and that's what I want to emphasize to you. And it can cost you a lot of money. When I first used pay-per-click, I got confused with the interface. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at the report and I thought, oh, that tells me how much I've spent today, and it said something like $5. I thought, oh, well, that's not too bad. Then after 2 or 3 days of it, it was still the same, and I started to think, that's a bit peculiar. It's saying the same as yesterday, and it's only just started the day. I wonder why that is. And then I realised that the view I was looking at was a report for a day 4 or 5 days ago. So by the time I'd worked that out, I'd switched to the other view, gone to see exactly how much my advertising campaign had cost me. I was $400 poorer. Now, that wasn't too bad, but I've heard people who leave their campaign run and go off on holiday or don't put a daily limit on it, and they've cost themselves thousands of dollars. So you need to be aware that not managed properly, if you're not tracking your return on investment, it can cost you a lot of money. But if you do it properly, as you've heard from the example I just mentioned, it can be very, very effective. A lot of marketers swear by pay-per-click, but they spend the time on it or pay someone to do it for them. And quite simply, if it's done properly, it can earn you a lot of money. And it's a very good way of getting instant traffic to allow you to test something. So if you've got a new website up and you want to test conversion rates, use pay-per-click, you get traffic to it in minutes, and then you can test everything you need to test. Now, organic search engine traffic is the other form of traffic. This is what we're going to concentrate on here in this course. Organic search engine traffic is basically, I type a keyword in Google, your website appears in the rankings. Now, the higher that you are in the rankings, the more people are going to find your website. People, something like 80-90% of people only look on the first 10. After that, the percentage of people that are going to see you is going to go down. If you are beyond page 3 or 4, pretty much forget it, to be perfectly honest. Very, very few people will find your website. You've got to be on page 1, ideally. Page 2 or 3, well, it will do, but you really, really want to be on page 1. Get you the most results. Now, organic search engine traffic is completely free. We like that. It doesn't cost us a penny, apart from obviously the effort we have to put into getting to the search engines. Now, some of the competitive keywords have hundreds of millions of competing sites, so it can take you a lot of work to get to the top. But with what I'm going to share in this course, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you beat the competition. You see, there's a few little things, little tweaks that many people don't bother doing. They can't be bothered. They're too small, too insignificant. But you know what? They can make the difference and get you above your competitors. So I'm going to show you those a bit later on. And to be perfectly honest, organic search engine traffic is one of the best sources of traffic. It's free. What more do you want? People will click on it and come through to your site. It's not costing you money every single time somebody clicks on it. So go and check it out. We're going to concentrate on this because it's really what you want to do. You're going to find it's going to earn you even more money. Now, another source of traffic is direct referral. Now, this is from joint ventures, from newsletters you send out, and so on and so forth. All of these mean people see your website directly. They haven't gone through the search engines, and they just click on your link and off they go. Now, obviously, this is a good source of free targeted traffic. People obviously are pre-warned, they know who you are, they know what you're offering, so you're more likely to get a better response. Now, what are we going to cover in this course? Well, I'm going to start by talking about traffic from articles. Now, article marketing is something that's been around since the year dot, but it's still a very effective traffic source. One that, again, many marketers will overlook because they're too busy focusing on the latest, greatest thing. Web 2.0, this, that, and the other. All these new things, which work. Can't knock them. They do work.